Hello and welcome. My name is Ashish Behel. Welcome to Happiness Per KM. Today we are at Yansh Motorsports and Suparna runs a riding school there. So let's just get some introductions going first. That's Suparna.
Hello.
That's Kate. She's from Ireland. We'll introduce Kate in detail. That's Bhavneet.
Hello everyone.
So let me just set up the context.
Sure.
And firstly, I can consider myself lucky I get to speak to three beautiful women. And motorcycling, so now you have more reasons to ride. Difficult question first. Why do you all ride? Anyone can go.
We ride because we feel ourselves. I think it's very important for every human being to be oneself.
Okay.
And we ride because we feel free and we feel that we have wings and we can do anything and achieve anything in the world.
Why motorcycles? See, I'm trying to illustrate a point here. I'm sure friends, family have asked this question to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why motorcycles? There are so many things to do.
Yeah.
An inherently gravity not friendly vehicle. So why do you ride? Kate, why don't you jump in? Why do you ride motorcycles?
I suppose I only came back to India in October. And I suppose motorcycling is not so common in Ireland. You have the bikers who come who are passionate about it, who take up a license and have a bike. But it's very rare that you take a bike just for out of passion or enjoyment.
Fantastic.
So basically when I came here, I always said I'd always would love to ride a bike. I'm a horse rider myself. I own horses all my life. I'm a rider myself in different ways. And so I always said, why not ride the man-made horsepower rather than the natural horsepower, which is the horses. So I wanted to get a new thrill for a new understanding and passion for another sort of sport, which involved the mechanical rather than the natural. So in India, I was allowed to get that benefit because you don't need to have a license to be immediately on the road. And I met Suparna only through horses only. She saw me in the field with my horse and came inside and said on her motorbike, and she's like, I'm a teacher, you should, you teach me, I'll teach you. So I said, okay. I said, okay, let's do it. So she's been teaching me now for several weeks now. And it's really given me this different kind of excitement and power, which I didn't feel like I had before.
So let me ask you an interesting question, and I'm sure you get a lot of it all the time. See, all three of you are beautiful looking women, right? And when your friends, family discover the word motorcycles next to your names, what are the reactions that come? Is it that, oh, why do you need to? Or is it admiration? Or is it, big deal? Anyone can go.
So for me, I suppose I got two sides of it. One side of it was a few of my friends who are actually Indian back home are motorcyclists. And when I came here and they saw I was riding a motorbike, they were like, wow, that's amazing. Like you're really pushing yourself to be of a whole different level to everybody else. You're really trying to be exciting and enjoy your time here and really take, I suppose, as we say in horsey terms, take life by the reins. So I suppose you can take life by the bike only.
I'll just come back to you, Suparna. You are itching to say something.
Yeah. So when I started riding, it was very young age. When I saw my father, I just saw that there's a bike in the home and my father is riding, and I just got intrigued looking at the bike.
Sure.
Yes, so I just started riding. So my parents have seen me, growing in that phase. It is common for them that I ride. And yes, when people know about it, I have always felt that they feel very proud and motivated. And I've seen ladies coming up to me saying that, you inspire us a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What about you, Suparna? What is the predominant emotion that you get from the men around you?
So most of it's positive. It's good. I feel a part of the pack only, not that I'm doing something different. Thankfully, I've met the best kind of people on two wheels, and it's good. You listen to stories and you share yours, as you know that I talk a lot. So, I get a chance to speak and share my story. When I talk about motorcycle riding, I don't think I or any other woman rider around me, we ride for proving a point or making a point that
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm a girl and I ride a bike. I
Really?
think it's
All of you are nodding to that.
Yeah,
because
doesn't matter.
that is the reason why I invited over Kate and Bhavneet for this panel, and I love to call her Preeti as well. That's her another name. So they're very genuine, very grounded people who are not riding motorcycles just to get all that extra attention. They're riding because they feel the same sense of true freedom that any boy, any girl, or anyone riding a bike would
So,
feel.
Suparna, I just want to jump in here because
Yeah.
it's a vital point. Reason I'm saying is it could be perceptions, it could be preconceived notions. We do hear about it a lot that women ride to make a point, and we hear a lot of women saying that guys, it's nothing so dramatic or spectacular whether it's a man riding or a woman riding. The point is, this topic is as old as the hills,
Yeah.
but it seems to go around in circles. As women, and as women, and I'm sure lots of times you're riding solo or going from point A to point B alone out there. What's the predominant emotion that you get on the road? Is it that, oh God, what is this, and why does she need to ride, or wow, I need to meet this girl?
If you ask me, Ashish, except for airport and railway stations where I would be carrying a certain luggage or bag with me, I would ride anywhere and everywhere. I find it very convenient.
Okay.
It's easier to maneuver and cut through traffic. Of course, I don't jump signals, but then I feel that yes, I'm owning myself and the bike, the vehicle that I'm riding. Say if you're in a car or a cab, you are being driven or dropped from one point to another. There's a setup. That's my opinion. No offense meant to any car drivers,
Sure.
but it's like a setup which is moving in itself. On the bike, you actually feel the wind, the ground, the entire your surroundings. You feel that, and that gives you another adrenaline rush. To be riding by yourself. So to be honest, I don't get that kick when I'm driving a car. I do drive or say any other activity. So I think for me, if you ask me, it's the sheer joy of riding a two-wheeler. So it could be anything that you feel while riding a motorcycle. So if you ask yourself, it'll be the same kind of an answer.
See, I get that, and the reason I'm saying it is because like I said, I have two daughters, and they are both in their teens. So I've seen that journey, but I consider myself lucky that because I have two daughters and a mother and a sister, surrounded by women. So maybe I understand that a little better. But for most, it's not so easy. So let's just jump into it. And Babni, is India safe for women to ride?
Absolutely. Safety comes within self first. You have to be confident. You have to, carry yourself so well that you should not be a target to anybody.
As really pretty women, do you all think of things like that? Oh, not a half face helmet, but a full face helmet?
Absolutely.
You need to be covered up and.
Full face helmet is absolutely necessary. It's nothing to show off. When in case of a fall, you have to protect your entire face. You can just protect your head and leave your jawline. No, it has to be full covered. We need not to become hero in anybody's eyes. Okay, we have to be safe. We have to do justice to our life. So there is no compromise on the gears. Absolutely, we don't mind covering ourselves completely and then ride, because a comfortable rider can ride comfortably.
What about you, Kate? Do you think India is safe for women to ride?
Yes, I think if you're whether you're a woman or man, if you are riding safe, you are safe. Even if you're riding safe, you can still be unsafe. It's a road. Accidents happen. We've all been in accidents, whether it's on the bike, off the bike.
So let me just put it out there. Do you get chased by men while on the road? And how do you deal with it?
So when we wear a full face helmet, then most of the times people are not able to make out whether it's a girl or a boy riding. So it also keeps us safe from getting that unwanted or extra attention from the other fellow riders on the road.
And when do they actually? I'm sure lots of guys must be figuring out that there's a lady rider. So point I'm trying to make is because this is often a big stumbling block.
Yeah.
For new lady riders, that we want to ride, but we may not have the skills or may not have the energy to deal with men all the time. So the reason I'm asking it is, if there is some successful formula all three of you have, then please do share, because the idea is to encourage more women to ride.
I think if I say, like, when I first started riding, like, safety was one thing, but then also your appearance and how you appear as a rider is very important. So don't get on a bike with your hair flowing in the wind in a pretty like clothes and looking like all pretty, because then you look unsuited for that sport. If you're wearing your proper gear and your boots and your kneecaps and your full helmet and your full jacket, then yes, you don't get to see if you're a woman or not, and that also helps with the attention. But then you're riding appropriately, so no one double looks. If you're a woman and you're wearing a full face of makeup and your hair is flowing in the wind, obviously you get more attention because you're not appropriately dressed also. So it's like, if you're appropriately dressed as a biker, then you're less likely to be seen as a woman because you're completely covered. But that's also then a safety thing, because you can be safe from an accident. But also the guys do not look second. They might look once and so not think, or that second look or third look might not happen if you're fully covered.
So, fantastic. And I'm going to, just slow the question down a bit so that it's understood. Do you all carry any specific things like pepper spray or, SOS devices? And do they actually work, or is just a placebo?
If you ask me, Ashish, then I just go by my instinct. And so since I grew up in an army family, again, mentioning that, I'm always prepared. I never put my guards down. Even if I have people riding with me, fellow riders, or if I'm on my own. Because on the bike, you're essentially on your own.
Absolutely.
So I'm just prepared that in case there is any unfortunate incidents, coming my way, I might just use my key.
Yeah, why not?
And
It's always there. It's always
I would
there.
agree with Kate that it's a body language that you come out with, that you're not vulnerable, that someone else doesn't mess. But thankfully, so far in my riding journey and the complete career of last 11 years, I have not come across such a situation.
So pause. So it's actually not that bad as
It is not.
it's made
No,
out to be.
no,
Because it's a vital point.
I just want to add one point here, that in my riding experience, I have observed, like, even if I'm riding solo, even if the guy is coming behind me and, I have seen that they give me a thumbs up while going. Yeah. So, so that I can see, like, they'll pass by me and then they'll do a thumbs up. It's just like a cheering up that, yes, you are riding, and it's good that you are riding, and it has happened to me almost 4 to 5 times. It's a kind of a sign of appreciation. So there is that aspect as well.
Okay, let's move on to some other softer aspects. I notice a lot of gear there. Do you find gear easily? The reason I ask is because at Happiness Per KM we do a lot of gear reviews as well. We find it difficult to come across gear built specially for ladies. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some brands, the international brand Revit, that goes out of its way to make a separate line. Now Royal Enfield has started making.
Yeah.
But is it as easy for as it compared to men? And also, given again a stereotype, women and shopping. So do you buy a lot of gear, or is it like,
I have to take up that question. Yes, that has been a challenge in the past couple
Absolutely.
of years.
Seriously.
Because, see, it's also demand based.
Yeah.
Not a lot of women are riding as compared to the men. So, even if any brand is keeping those and making specific sizes, they go unsold. However, it's good that in the last couple of years, riding has picked up very well amongst everyone, youth and even women. So yes, women are seeking riding gear. Few brands have recently come up with their own line. Some are good brands, some are newly launched brands. They are coming up with sizes, but then the availability is also a thing that I've noticed. So we see that sizes available, see that online, but when we actually visit the stores, we don't find them physically, because the dealers also mention that, ma'am, we don't keep it because there's no demand. So yes, at this point of our conversation, I would like to emphasize that be it a man or a woman, riding gear are essentially very, very important, vital for your safety. Please go out and reach. When we ask for more things, then we get to see them around. Okay. And sizes, yes, those are the challenge. So if you ask me, I don't especially ask for women specific gears. If I don't find, I'll check the men's section. Earlier I used to do that for the t-shirts. Check in the men's section and find exciting t-shirts with nice quotes written on them and get them. So yes, slowly the change is coming and it's all happening for the good. Yeah.
So guys, now this is the section where it gets a little more interesting. Usually you would have heard the term men in their motorcycles, women in their motorcycles. Bhavneet, starting with you. You ride a, please.
Royal Enfield Classic 350cc.
Oh boy, and
And
see the image of a Royal Enfield Classic.
Yeah,
is
see.
that's a big heavy bike.
yeah, and I have a special name for my bike,
Which is?
Okay. So my bike's name is Bultu Chetak.
Oh, superb.
So Bultu because it's a bullet, and Chetak because Maharana Pratap's horse was Chetak, and its name is derived from that Chetak. It's that horse did not give up, and even despite being injured, he ensured that his master reaches to the end point with complete safety. So I just relate my bike with that.
So you never thought of buying a lighter bike? I mean, why did you buy a bullet?
No, I think I'm designed for heavy things in life. It can be anything. It can be challenges in my life, whatever. I have come across so many challenges in my life, and I ensure that I, come out of it and start afresh. So I stopping and giving up is something not at all my cup of tea. It's like always keep on moving despite of any hurdle.
What about you, Kate? What are you riding?
I don't own a bike
Sure.
currently. Because it's been a few weeks. I've only been like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months that I've been like learning and taking my time.
So
Because I'm not
any particular bike you're particularly fond of or prefer?
Not particularly. I'm still learning. Okay, which kind of bike I want to ride. What kind of rider do I want to be? What do I want to feel when I'm like? Am I going to be cruising through a city, or am I going to be a hill rider?
Where are you tilting? Being a champion show jumper, where does your natural instinct take you?
I think I'm always naturally going out for adventure. I think sitting riding would be a bit boring. So I think something that will take me on the hills, cruising, like a little bit of, get a bit of a feel and a vibe for that. Not racing, but just enjoying. Taking it as it comes. So something a little bit more on a cruiser or something. Like I've rode a few Sopranos bikes, and each bike I'm getting more and more interested in. Oh, this bike does this. So what does this model do? Or what this model do? So even I think last week I rode the Royal Enfield Meteor. Also.
That is
Meteor.
superb.
And I got on the bike and I was like, wow, okay.
Liked it?
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
So I'll add that.
What are you riding, and which is your favorite bike? I know you've been riding for a very long time, so
So yes, there is a dream bike, there is a favorite bike, and there is an aspirational
Pick one.
bike. Aspirational, yes, it's the Triumph
which one?
Tiger
Which one?
Farex
1200, 900?
900. Yeah, it's the one of those first super bikes I've ridden, and you would want to go places. So I've been fortunate enough to do a couple of rides from the bikes that I got from the showrooms only. But yes, that is probably I'm working hard for that. But then I'm not very materialistic, and I don't judge bikes by their capacity or so. I think even 100cc bikes gives the same amount of pleasure as a 1000cc. Many might disagree with me, but that's my way of looking. Currently, I own a fleet of 4 bikes. The first one is my personal bike, Royal Enfield Thunderbird 350. I call it Kainat.
Royal Enfield seems to be killing it with the women.
Kainat means the universe, and ever since I got that bike, it changed my life for the good. Then I have, it's actually Surya's bike, but I call it mine. It's the Royal Enfield Classic 350. I named it Shahenshah because Shahenshah is lower than Kainat. Yeah. Then I have an Apache, a TVS Apache 180. It's my training bike. And then I recently got a Bajaj Avenger for my training work. I named it Ruh. Ruh means the soul.
Lovely.
So you have to connect with the Ruh to experience the thrill. And Kate has been riding those bikes in the past weeks that we have been training, and she's superb. I'm impressed by her turning abilities. You should see that when we shoot outside.
So ladies, if you were to agree on what is the biggest challenge for you now as riders, is it about just a perceived notion that I see? Because the reason I'm saying is at times we ride a lot, And I'm not particularly picky. If I have a group of 4, I do lots of solo riding. So even if I have to pull 500 kilometers alone, the variables I think of are probably different from some variables that you think of. Because for me the variables are what's the route, traffic, heat, etc., all the normal stuff. So, and since we are trying to encourage more women to ride, and eventually you would all want to ride longer and longer. So what's the one biggest challenge that you face?
On long rides, I think there has to be a backup with you.
Okay, why is that?
In case your bike breaks down, there has to be complete setup to either repair it, or there has to be an alternate for that.
Sure.
Because everywhere you cannot reach near to the petrol
Service station.
station, or you might be in the middle of somewhere, where there isn't any, it's hard for you to reach somewhere, right? So if there is a backup vehicle with you which has all the equipments so that can be taken care of.
So that's do you both agree? I mean, is that the biggest challenge?
Yes, also, for me, I just recently had an accident only a few weeks back.
Yeah, she told me.
So for me, I wasn't the accident that was what brought fear in me. What brought fear in me was the after. As a woman also, firstly, as Tapan has always said, make sure you don't look like overly like a woman on your bike. Just be protective, wear your full helmet. I did all of that. And I was on the back of somebody else's bike.
She was a pillion rider.
Yeah. And I was with he was a guy also, and he was wearing protective gear. And we got hit by an auto and we fell. Until the men of the village pulled us out, pulled us aside, and pulled my helmet off till they get to realize I was a woman.
What was the reaction?
Oh, like
Back to a white woman.
to be a foreigner woman also. Then the stakes changed. They said this guy has brushed them off, they'll leave, there would be nothing. When they got to realize it was a woman and a white woman in that matter, then the scariness of those villagers, you could see the fear in their eyes of what will she do, what will happen, police will come, this thing. Because yes, it was a bad accident, but it wasn't fatal, thank God.
So India is friendlier than it's made it out to be, right?
I think I was in quite deep into a village, so them seeing a white girl around anyway would probably be slim. To be a white girl on the back of a bike also, it would also different. So I got very good. They hosted me very nicely, and they looked after me also, and they ensured that I was protected and away from the road. So I got a very nice welcoming. But there was the fear, to prepare yourself for these rides, or what you need to look out for. It's not the accident itself, it's the after. How you get first aid, how you go to the hospital. If I was unconscious, who has my documents, who has my blood type, or what's my name even? Because at that time I was not even holding a purse, I was just driving, and we were driving safely, and we just happened to get hit, and it wasn't our fault. But
It can happen anywhere.
But preparing yourself for not the accident itself, but the after.
So what about you, Suparna? You being
I have a lot of inputs on this.
one challenge.
Yeah.
One.
So currently, I would not say one, but two things. First is the condition of the roads in India. Unfortunately, we recently lost a rider friend of ours.
Yes.
I would say it wasn't her fault. The roads were too bad where she was riding. A group
Unmarked
of-
speed breaker. Yes.
Yes, unmarked speed breakers, potholes, stray cattle on the road, people driving or riding without the safety practices, riding from the wrong side, overtaking from the left, not using indicators to change. All of this, no one's educating. We are just selling motorcycles or vehicles from the showrooms. Is anyone educating? Is anyone checking that juveniles are riding who are not even having licenses?
It's a great point.
So all of this puts you, me, us, all of us here at risk. So no matter how experienced or how novice a rider I am, if someone else is not riding or driving correctly, I'm at risk. So I always say that if I'm starting from point A and reaching a point B safely, I'm just sheerly lucky. That's it. And it could be anyone. And a lot of people say that motorcycles are unsafe and it's not safe to be on two wheels. My question to them is, even if you're driving a car and if a accidental bike comes flying in front of you, what would you do?
Yeah.
A stray cattle, cows and other animals roaming on the roads comes in front of you, and you just happen to apply your emergency brakes or so and doesn't land well. What do you do? So we all are equally responsible. Let's not wait for the authorities to do something, because we have seen what has happened in the last 70 years of post our freedom. We have to take the charge talk about safety, talk about not just the freedom part of riding, but the responsible riding also.
Which is why we also just tell all riders, please gear up. Okay, let's shift modes a bit. What
I
are
get
the-
very,
What
you know,
are the reactions you get from women? See, big smiles suddenly.
So no, there's a mix of reactions actually. I have seen women getting inspired as well. I have seen women getting envious as well. So but my what my say to everyone is, you should be inspired if you see any such thing, and if you seek any assistance, instead of shying down, come out and say that I also want to do this thing. It could be anything. It's not just riding, it could be anything. Ask for help, ask for support. I'm sure so many people will come up for that.
What about you both? When you walk into a cafe with a helmet in your hand, is there electricity crackling and people looking at you?
A few of my friends, like obviously never, from living at home also, being in Ireland, and a lot of my friends back home are like, that's just really badass. That's the word that they use. It's like nothing else you can say, only that's badass. And also like you're like, that's so like sexy, that's really awesome that you're doing that, like you look so empowered, like all these like things that like, wow, like even like a woman's appreciating a woman in those ways, that it's like, it's something that's really quite
Very nice.
heroic, or like.
What about you, Suparna?
I'll just add to it that strong women support strong women and nurture others.
Yeah.
So you lead by example. So I'll never ride without a helmet or so, because somewhere someone is aspiring to become like you. You always you should be a good role model. So yes, I get good appreciation from women around, and I've trained someone as young as 59 and as old as 16. And it is like both genders, but yes, it's nice, and it's so good to see other women ride around, because as we say, it's no fun partying alone. You put on the music and you're dancing alone. It's no fun. It's good when you all come in a group, we cheer, we share stories.
So who are your role models? Itchy Boots?
I think I find role models in people whom I see around me, not social media models. I'm not naming anyone there, but anyone, like it could be Bhavneet, because I know a lot of her personal stories also, how she's been a survivor, a warrior herself, and raising 2 daughters independently all by herself. So I'm inspired by her. I'm inspired by Kate. She's living in a foreign land all by herself. She came here a couple of years back not knowing anyone, but then now she has set up herself in a foreign land, and we became friends, all of her.
So just before we go away, and like we started, this video is being made so that we encourage more women riders. If I could suggest a strong word, it's not a message. I mean, it's not a directive. But if the 3 of you were to encourage more women to ride, what would you like to put out there?
I just want to say one thing.
Sure, simple.
It's not Red Bull, it's Bullet, which gives you wings.
Yeah, see, she's such a sweetheart.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Is there something which is swept under the carpet and never really spoken about, being lady riders? Or see, the reason we are saying it is, and as Suparna was saying, for us a 100cc bike and a 1700cc bike is the same. For us, a lady rider and a male rider is the same. While we're not trying to be facetious about it, the real world, of course, is different. It doesn't go down in the same breath, but that's the intent, right? As a brand, we want to speak to more women, we want to meet more lady riders. It's just that, they're very difficult to find. Because, even during peak winter in the north, I think I've seen it once, an all lady rider group once. So, I thought it was fabulous. And they went to some dhaba, they raised cane, and they just generally had a good time, but that's rare. And we would so much like it if we saw more of that. So is there anything which is not spoken about?
Not even, I think for me, I wanted to ride a bike as soon as I got to India. I was like, this is what I want to have. I want to have my own bike. I want to learn how to ride a bike. And I said it to a few of my guy friends, and they were laughing at me and saying, they were hesitant about giving me a bike to allow me to try. I think when I met Soprana, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know there was lady riders who would be willing to teach or at least encourage. So if someone is like that wants to learn, but like I find the intimidating fact of if a man was teaching me, or you know, that on how that dynamics would work, and me being foreign also, like these things, like not being able to speak the language, how will this work? But the Soprana happened to seek me, and we seeked each other, and that was just a good coincidence. But find an inspiring woman around you who is maybe a rider, or you know, Instagram nowadays you can just hashtag anything.
Interesting.
But again, just find someone that might encourage you to help you in that next step. Don't let the fear of just like, oh, if it's a guy, or I could be a lady rider, or I don't want to be taught by a guy, or these things, then maybe seek something that's suiting you, like maybe a woman who could teach you to ride a bike, or even introduce you to bikes. That would be my kind of aim.
Something on your mind, Suparna? You've been
Absolutely. So many thoughts, because I use all of these content or context in to my training also, because the first roadblock is in the mind. So there are certain myths that I'm short, I'm less than 5 feet. So I would like to mention Sara Kashyap. She's a very renowned rider, and she's got so many laurels to her. She's short, but she's riding probably any and every bike that you see.
Yeah.
There are so many other inspirational female bikers. So it's all in the mind. You think of it, you do it.
Yeah.
Unless you try, the answer is always no. There is a purpose to every motorcycle, and for every purpose there is a motorcycle.
Nice.
So if you're short, you find a bike for yourself. If you're tall, if you're thin, people say this certain bike, I mean, usually for all they say bullet heavy hoti hai, we can't ride it. No, try it out.
Look at her.
Yeah, look at her, and she's super fit to be riding the bike. So yes, go out and try. And another additional message is, just because someone else is riding a bike doesn't mean that you have to do. It should come from within.
Yeah.
So I never try to sell the course or say that tum bhi chalao, because I know if it doesn't come from within, they'll learn for 5 days or 8 days and then not pursue it. Find a passion. Everyone gets up, goes to work, comes back, eats, sleeps, does their household chores. But what is that one thing that gives you a kick to wake up every day, or maybe look forward to the weekend? So Bhavneet is a working professional. She works for 5 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, she's seeking a ride. Kab kar rahe hain yaar? Ride kab kar rahe hain? I mean, we encourage each other to ride and plan a ride, not wait for someone else to initiate. Start, do it yourself. If painting is your thing, do it. If cycling is your thing, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what passion for modern motorcycling sounds like. See, these are inspiring stories. You know, these are stories which we find very difficult to come by, and when we do come by, we have to share it with you. Because and we'll just, maybe the camera will come up close next. These are the stories that you should pay attention to. Not because they're saying it, it's because women riding motorcycles is something that's here to stay. Get used to it, get comfortable with it, and welcome it. Because it's not about male bastions or female bastions. It's about a sport, and the more people indulge in a sport, body, mind, spirit, everything remains healthier. And motorcycling is a fabulous sport. Thank you for watching, and if you like hearing about such stories, please write in on the comments. Click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you, Bhavni, thank you, Kate, and thank you, Suparna.
Thank you so much for
having us.
having us over. And
Our
let's ride
pleasure.
soon.